Thank you.
Emma James, baseball friendly, baseball neutral, I think, on the other side.
Indeed.
How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good, thank you.
Now, on Media Watch, US, North Korea, the latest.
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is set to run and run with Donald Trump saying this evening that North Korea had to get its act together. But a lot of people talking online about this seem to believe that the two leaders really are playing much the same game. One image that's been shared very widely online today comes from Libération, the front page of the French newspaper, where they've blended together the faces of Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Rather a disturbing image. And the headline is actually Atome crochu, which means literally hooked atoms, but it is actually a turn of phrase, which means that they have a lot in common. And certainly when we take a look at what the cartoonists have to say, they are drawing them in a very similar fashion, i.e. as children. Children having a little row here as the four horsemen of the apocalypse gallop by saying, "Woe, you two, settle down." That by Phil Hands. Michael de Adder, too, has portrayed them as children with their nuclear buttons attached to their strollers. Really rather disturbing sight. When you look around to see what the actual diplomatic comments are, it's a very, very mixed bag. One thing that is slightly disturbing, though, with all the focus on those two leaders, it's easy to forget about the role of South Korea in all this. And the South Korean military has actually joined in with the very strong rhetoric that's rocketing around at the moment. The Joint Chiefs of Staff has issued a statement saying that North Korea will pay a harsh price for an attack on the South or its ally, the US. They went on to say that it would face strong and resolute retaliation. Now, this is unusual for two reasons, because the military doesn't normally issue warnings when it comes to just purely verbal threats, as this has so far been the case with North Korea. No missile tests have been happening of late. It's also at odds with what we're hearing from the South Korean presidency. A spokesperson for the Blue House, as it's called, has described the situation as serious but not a crisis. So very, very different viewpoints there. If you are looking to have your nerves soothed, then taking a look at the Washington Post is probably a good idea. Anna Fifield has written a very interesting article in which she says that Kim Jong-un basically is not trying to pick a fight. It's actually the last thing that he would want. She says he's prepared to push back to a point, but never enough to risk a war that would threaten his rule as the third-generation strongman in a family dynasty.
Now, the eyes of the world, too, are also on Kenya's presidential election. There's been a certain amount of trouble and, of course, detailed reporting from us here at France24. There's also now an unexpected hero of the hour.
Yes, very much so. As often happens with social media, one particular man queuing to cast his vote has caught the imagination of people across Kenya. And as this headline says, it's kind of despite the tension and in some ways has been a welcome diversion for people. You'll see if I scroll down that he's actually got his dinner or his lunch, I'm not sure which, in a plastic bag there. And that's a meal called Githeri, which is made of maize and beans, a very simple dinner. And people have really taken him to heart. There are tens of thousands of tweets with the hashtag GitheriMan. This gentleman says this guy is the undisputed winner of this election. Everyone has observed he enjoyed his Githeri in a free and fair and transparent bag. And there are lots and lots of images shared online where Kenyans have got very creative indeed. Here he is doing Hotline Bling, the Drake song, with, of course, the Githeri bag in hand. Accompanying the US president out of the helicopter in this meme, and this one too. I think this is my favourite, just because it looks so seamless. Githeri Man went to the USA to meet Kim Kardashian, and there he is, strolling down the street, hand in hand.
With his bag.
With the celebrity and his bag, of course, of the maize and beans. It's even got the attention of politicians. Najib Balala tweeting, he is the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism in Kenya, and what he said is that he salutes Kenyans for being creative, innovative and talented. And it really has brought an element of fun to what was making people very nervous because of the precedent, of course, of 2007, where 1,300 people were killed, 600,000 people displaced. And this has been a very nice way to distract people from the fears that things could happen again.
What do we know about Githeri Man?
Well, they have, of course, been trying to track him down because with all this attention, everyone wants to know exactly who he is. He's been found by Citizen TV Kenya. There he is. His name is Martin Kamotho. He's a 41-year-old cleaner. As for the snack that led to his fame, he said he doesn't earn very much money.
In the shot,
he
he's got
does
the
have a
bag.
bag, yes. But he said he doesn't earn a lot of money and he can't afford a decent breakfast and has to grab what is within his means. And he was waiting in that queue for quite a few hours. So that's hence him having the snack while he was waiting. Now, before people even knew that he wasn't that wealthy, some actually started talking about helping him out, raising money for him, perhaps sending him on holiday. Others thought that was a little patronising. This person saying, it's amazing how people determine what a person lacks by how he dresses and what he eats, although in this case, people do appear to have been correct. This DJ from Jamaica says he's probably happier than most people here, thinking it's arrogant that people actually want to fix his life. There are others who think that all the frivolity around this and the fact that so many people are focusing on it, that basically it's a worrying sign, really, of what the nation's priorities are. And also, finally on this one, this is probably my favourite image. A lot of people share this sentiment, thank him for making Kenya laugh again and appreciate each other. We owe him a debt of gratitude.
Great stuff. We need to leave it there. Emma, thank you very much indeed.